Chapter 5. Pink Frilly Nightdress Boy. Matron launched into what seemed like a very well-rehearsed speech. A speech she must have given to all her new patients. Now, young man, this is my ward, and these are my rules. Lights out at 8 p.m. sharp. No talking after lights out, no reading under the covers, no eating of sweets. If I do hear the rustle of sweet papers in the dark, I will confiscate them on the spot. Yes, that includes you, George. The podgy boy immediately stopped chewing and kept his mouth tightly shut so Matron couldn't see he was chewing a chocolate at that very moment. The woman continued at quite a pace. Her words snapped like the crack of a whip. No getting out of bed, no visiting the toilet during the night. That is what the bedpan is for. You will find a bedpan under your bed. There is a bell on the wall by your head. Ring the bell in the night only in an absolute emergency. Do you understand me? Yes, replied Tom. It was like being told off before you had actually done anything wrong. Now, have you brought any pyjamas with you? She asked. No, replied Tom. I must have been rushed here in an ambulance when I was knocked out on the cricket pitch. I didn't have a chance to pack anything, so I've got my cricket kit I came in. I don't mind sleeping in it. Matron curled her lip in horror. Repulsive child! You are as bad as that disgusting excuse for a human being, the porter. He smells like he sleeps in his clothes. Ha, ha! Can we call your parents to bring you some pyjamas for you? Tom sorrowfully shook his head. Why not? My mother and father live abroad. Where? The boy hesitated before answering. I'm not sure. You are not sure? The matron said loudly so everyone could hear. It was as if she wanted all the children in the ward to enjoy the new boy being humiliated as much as she did. They move around a lot for my father's work. I know it's somewhere with the desert. Well, that narrows it down, she snarled sarcastically. You don't even know what country your own parents live in? Well, you will fit in right here. The children in this ward are all the ones whose parents don't even visit for one reason or another. They're either too poor to travel like Amber's, or too ill like Robin's, or live too far away like Sally's. George has the best reason, though. Would you care to explain why your parents never visit George? Nah, said the boy, muttering in his Cockney accent. The accent struck Tom, as no one at his boarding school talked like George. The boy looked desperately embarrassed. Don't. George's father is in prison, for robbery no less. So if anything goes missing in the ward, we'll know who to blame. Like father, like son. Ha ha. I ain't a thief, shouted George. No need to be sensitive, child. It's just my little joke. Well, it ain't funny, he replied. Ooh, she added mockingly. I've touched a nerve. Now I have an idea for you, Tom. Let me find you something to wear in my lost property box. With a glint in her eye, Matron turned on her heel and disappeared into the office. A moment later, she emerged with her hands behind her back and a very suspicious grin on her face. I'm awfully sad to say, Tom, that I don't have any pyjamas to fit you, she said, so you will just have to wear this. From behind her back, Matron produced a pink, frilly nightdress. The smug grin on her face had become even smugger. Tom looked at the pink, frilly nightdress with horror. If the other boys in his boarding school ever heard about him wearing it, he would never, ever live it down. In fact, he would be forever known as Pink Frilly Nightdress Boy. Please let me just keep my cricket gear on, Matron, pleaded Tom. I said no, snapped Matron. I got pyjamas he can borrow, said George. Don't be ridiculous, child, replied the lady in a flash. Look at the size of you, boy. They would be far too big. Your pyjamas would be too big for an elephant. Ha, ha, ha. Once again, no one laughed except Matron. Now get this on right away, or I will report you to the principal of the hospital, Sir Quintin Strillers. He would take a very dim view of a boy like you, and could have you thrown out on the street, said the lady, as she whisked the curtains round the boy's bed. She stayed on the outside, leaving Tom to try and wriggle out of his clothes and into the nightdress on his own. Quickly, ordered Matron. I'm nearly there, called out Tom as he pulled the thing over his head. Okay, he said, even though he felt far from okay. Matron then whisked the curtains back to reveal Tom. There stood Pink Frilly Nightdress Boy, in all his pink frilly nightdress glory. Actually suits ya, said George. I so wish I could see it, murmured Robin. No, you don't, replied Amber.